Charles Kanjama, you are accused of confusing your personal conservative views, as it were, to bring into professional, and cases are being cited that you only pursue cases that are aligned with your strict Christian views. How do you respond to that?
I don't think they're able to find many cases. They are not there. I'm a professional. Those who call me conservative cannot cite the cases. But I want to spend most of the 2 minutes addressing the questions you've asked my colleagues. First of all, you asked Maura Kabata about withdrawal of cases. And I want to say that a public interest litigation case of the magnitude of the fuel levy case that involved billions of shillings could not be withdrawn without knowledge of important members of the council. And after that information came out until today, there has been no clear explanation from the council, and in particular from my colleague Maura Kabata, on what were the circumstances. And this is a serious issue. Members want to know, do you have the wherewithal to resist pressure from the state that is both financial, operational, and ideological? It is a critical issue that will help to determine who members choose. My colleague Peter Wanyama has said that of the three of us, he's the most independent. I want to say this, and it is clear because it is my colleague who says it himself. He's the foremost lawyer acting for county governments and council of governors. The amount of money he gets from the county government is in the tens of millions. Recently, when we were having the case in Nakuru, he even said he was expecting a fee note of 1.2 billion shillings. So if your own practice, you are receiving money from government, you are assisting in sensitive political cases of government like the one of impeachment of Rigiji, can you truly say that you'll be independent in matters of politics when we come to 2027, when the rubber meets the road? That is why I say it's clear that on the question of independence, there is no question who is the most independent candidate before this podium.
Okay, Charles, you've spent, I'll give the, all right, the audience for the last time. It really interrupts the debate and the flow of the conversation if at every point we have to clap. It takes Axel 2 minutes. All right, so I will give the two colleagues who've been mentioned time to respond, but I want to finish this line of questioning with Kanjama. You said there's no one case that can be found. Would you want to speak in a minute on the question on this particular case, John Mutua Munyoki versus the Republic of Kenya 2017?
Oh, that's a criminal case where I represented an accused person who was on appeal, and the appeal was allowed. So I don't want to go more into the details of that case, but it was a case where someone had been charged with defilement. The appeal was heard by the Court of Appeal, 3-judge bench. They agreed with the position of my client that that conviction was wrongful. Let me say something. Justice Albi Sachs has always said that the day any citizen is unable to get legal representation and access to justice, which is the core pillar upon which the legal profession is built, that is the day the whole artifice, the whole architecture, the whole institution of justice will collapse. Lawyers know that when we are coming to represent accused persons, we represent them so that their right to be heard can be fully expressed and manifested. Thank you.
All right. So we give it a minute to Peter Wanyama.
Yeah, thank you very much. You know, Kanjama is a senior counsel. He says that I'm being paid 1-point-something billion. That is not true. Let me just contradistinguish this. I have an active case with Kanjama as we speak. I represent a judge of the Court of Appeal who has been vilified, intimidated by the state, pushed so hard by the state. But he came to me. I successfully protected his constitutional rights. Mr. Kanjama represents who? The Chief Justice and the Judicial Service Commission. This is a case because if Kanjama wants to he wants to say that we should not be elected LSK president because of the clans that we represent, And I've made a distinction that I've represented county governments against oppression, against a repressive national government apparatus. If he wants to make that distinction, then can't that distinction also apply to him? Is Kanjama fit enough to question the Chief Justice and the Judicial Service Commission on corruption allegations? I will be there for you, practitioners. I will stand very firm for you when it comes to accountability in the judiciary, and you know me.
Thank you, Kanjama. Mwaura Kabata.
I have just been reminded of the cradle of this institution, consecrate them in the truth. Everything bad in the law society in this wave that we are going into is Mwaura Kabata. Everything that is happening wrong in the law society is Mwaura Kabata. But everything good is the Council of the Law Society of Kenya. Now surely, you must pick a side and prepare your bed and lay on it. But it cannot be that everything good goes to a whole collective group called the council, but everything bad is about me. Senior counsel, if I was senior counsel, I would be mentoring young leaders. If I was a billion Kenya shilling advocate, I will be sticking to represent my clients are not interested in the Law Society of Kenya. I do not represent those billion shilling clients, neither do I represent the Chief Justice. We have had many opportunities with the leadership of the judiciary, and we have spoken to them truth to power. I am currently in court over several matters challenging various statutes that allow cabinet secretaries and county executive committee members to attend to political rallies. I am telling you that I am the man that will speak for all of you.
Thank you, Mwaura.
I note this row is not clapping.
Candidates, we are now moving to another part of this debate.
Minute? My colleagues had their minute. I also request my minute.
Take your minute.
Thank you. First of all, Peter Wanyama mentions that the 1.2 billion matter is a figment of imagination. But those were the words from his lips in the case in Nakuru, where a high court judge is trying to stop external lawyers from acting for public sector organizations. He himself mentioned that he has a bill of 1.2 billion shillings against Narok County government, and that is something that members can look for. And I want to say that it is quite clear that he is earning tens of millions of shillings, if not hundreds of millions of shillings, that come from the consolidated fund. When we approach 2027, we want an LSK president who will not be threatened by withdrawal of his core source of income. Then the second thing that Peter Wanyama mentioned was about the case involving the Judicial Service Commission, not the Chief Justice. In that case, I was seeking to pursue scrutiny when there is a complaint against a judge, and the person who was obscuring that scrutiny was none other than Peter Wanyama.